What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be going over another money play found in the Arizona Cardinals playbook. This is also available in the live playbook. We're going to be going through every single live NFL playbook to give you guys plays out of every single one of them as well. So in today's video, we're going to be going into the spread-wise slot. We're going to be talking about how you can use this to attack the blitz meta, the sin 7, sin 8, as well as how to attack some basic coverages. So let's go ahead and get into spread-wise slot. We're going to be using Y stick. You must have Hot Route Master in order for this to work. If you guys are running the Patriots team, the suggestion I would have is putting Julian Edelman in at the slot position, because with Slot-O-Matic, he gets better cuts within the slot and gets better catching animations as well. Julio Jones, post flag elite, essentially is going to be doing the same thing as if you were to have Slot-O-Matic in that position. It's just slightly better when it runs this post route. On the other hand, we've got Tyreek Hill running what's called a fade stop. If you guys do not know what a fade stop is, check out the link in the description. You can only get it with Hot Route Master. And then over here, DeAndre Hopkins, if you guys can have a fast wide receiver like Will Fuller, Tyreek Hill, there's one more, John Ross even, those guys are going to be great because he's going to be running some short routes. So let's go ahead and get into Y stick. One thing before we choose this is, actually we'll go ahead and choose it, is you need to have the tight end on the short side of the field to make this effective. Let's go ahead and get into cover 3 sky now with the Hot Route Master with Tom Brady at the helm. What we want to go ahead and do is put Julio Jones on a post, and utilizing Hot Route Master, put X on a fade stop. This fade stop is really tricky, especially against the cover 3. If you guys check out the video below, you'll learn how to stop it, because it's all about timing and essentially manipulating the curl flat to get pulled to the outside. So we're going to go ahead and put him on a fade stop, and then we're also going to go ahead and smart route him. So it looks like kind of a curl route, a little bit different. So this is currently what it looks like. Now we're going to go ahead and put B on a drag. Again, speed is going to be helpful, but one thing to notice is when you motion in DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones also shifts in, and in a sense it allows the post route to get to the sideline a little bit more quickly as well to make a read. Lastly, go ahead and block your running back, and we're going to set up the chop block. So this is how you do a chop block for you guys that don't know it quite yet. This is also how you can get outside of a QB contain. Really simple read. Look for the post, the drag, or the fade stop, kind of depending on what they're giving you. So for now, let's go ahead and look for this post route. So we'll snap this ball. We've got the chop block. We'll wait for it. Low point pass and down to the outside. I think it's right there against a zoned out player. We're fitting it in. Now, that wasn't the best low point pass. I probably was an inaccurate one, but getting those randomly. But if you're able to low point pass and get a good low point pass, you're going to be able to fit that underneath the outside third and over the top that curl flat. One thing to mention that's very worth mentioning is we have 2 zoned out players. You guys are like, whoa, how'd you get those guys? We changed the rosters. I want the best defense to go against. So we actually have 3 zoned out players, and we're going to be going against both Richard Sherman and Derwin James, both of which have zoned out. So let's set this up one more time. And this time, instead of looking for the post, because we're not getting good low point passes right now, we're going to look for the fade stop. This fade stop will require you for cover 4, cover 2, and cover 3 to click on and make a user catch. We're going to be making a separate video talking about swerve catches, how you can become more effective on user catches and all that good stuff, so be on the lookout for that. But let's go ahead and look for this fade stop. We'll talk about this a little more in particular and how this is. Wow, we just got our brains cheated. This is effective against cover 4 palms, quarters, drop, and cover 3. This fade stop, essentially they recognize it as like a just really deep curl route. So let's go ahead and back out. And you see, if we can get the timing a little bit better with kind of a pass lead inside and down, it's a little bit tricky. You can fit it in with a low point pass, because what's going on right here is this drag is pulling the curl flat to the outside, and right there is our window to throw this little fade stop. And right there, we get cheated. We get just absolutely cheated. Now let's go ahead and get into a cover 2 or tamp. Let's just go tamp 2. Essentially, it's going to be the same thing as cover 2 soft squats or cover 2 sink. Back into the spread Y shot, Y stick, set it up, Y in a post, B on a drag, X on a fade stop, and block your running back. And smart out that fade stop, and you'll see this is going to get wide open against cover 2 late. So this is not a quick read. I'm going to hop off Derwin James, motion in D-hop, and you'll look for either the post route or the drag route. And we'll snap this ball. I know I can hit the drag, and I know I can hit this post. Low point pass, Bambi gets right there. Again, getting our brains cheated. But you can be able to hit that post route fairly easily. On the other hand, if we go over to this fade stop, I know that I can hit this fade stop against a cover 2. Link in the description to explain why. So I'm going to go ahead and baseline. It doesn't matter baseline or non-baseline. I just like it looking a little more clean, easier to recognize zones and help you guys out. See right here, we got the mid read. This right here, this middle part of the field is where you can hit the drag. This fade stop, on the other hand, is what we're focused on right now. So this one takes a little bit of time, but you can see right there, because we have that flat route coming across the field, the cloud flat abandons the fade stop, comes down to play flats, and he can hit that little fade stop. Again, it's about roughly a 15-yard gain. So now cover 4 drop show 2. Set it up. And essentially, we're going to force this curl flat defender to decide, hey, am I going to guard over the top or am I going to guard underneath? Again, this little fade stop is going to be a very small window, but if you can get the timing down, it's going to be effective. Post route, as always, is going to be open late and maybe even early as well. So passing it down into the inside, down into the outside with a low point pass, super easy dot. Let's do this fade stop real fast. Motion him in, so that motion's in Julio Jones as always. We'll look for this fade stop. Again, the window's really tight, so just kind of hop into practice mode with it. You can see pass lead it down into the inside, and with a low point pass, you're going to be making that almost every single time. Now, palms and quarters, that fade stop will work both times. Palms and quarters, the post route will also work as well. The drag, not so much because of how the 3-rec hook is there. I'm going to just go into cover 4 quarters. Fade stop's going to be money because the way that the defenders recognize it, they recognize it as a curl. And so they play it as man coverage. And man coverage gets beat by curl route. So that's how that's going to be working for us. So Y on a post, motion in B, put him on a drag. Snap the ball. You can hit the post route. You can hit this drag route late. And then you can hit the curl flat as well. That post route was wide open. I could have easily hit that if I wanted to. But there's a couple different options. Realistically, what's going to happen is you're going to be reading the user. And often the user, let's just baseline real fast, is going to be on this 3-rec hook. Sometimes if they're feeling real crazy, they might actually take this guy and put him into a zone and then just cover the middle of the field. If that's the case, just look for the post route or primarily look for this little fade stop against a cover 4 quarters or cover 4 palms. If you notice that they're starting to put cloud flat out there, that's not going to guard it. And out to third is not going to guard it. There's a very specific way that you can defend and that you have to defend a fade stop. Now, that's all of the basic zones. Now let's go ahead and get into the blitz. Pinch, buck. Oh, everybody's running into it. We also get into the 1-4-6 as well. Don't worry. I know some people are like 1-4-6, but what about 1-4-6? We'll get into it, all right? So Y stick, we're going to be utilizing this as well against the blitz. So we're going to go ahead and set this blitz up. If you guys don't know, it's blitz all linebackers, press. You may need to press a few times to get that linebacker to come down and keep it contained. Now, the nice thing about a spread set is you're going to be stressing the user to cover a lot. If you notice that, let's say they take Bentley out and you see them free their roam around like that, I can guarantee you they already have themselves in the zone, or they're going to man themselves up at the running back. Whatever the case may be, at this point you can hit the hitch, you can hit the drag depending on how well they get pressed, or if you have time, you can also hit this fade stop / post route. Kind of just depends on where the user is going to be at. In a blitzing situation, a speedy wide receiver is really going to be helpful for where DeAndre Hopkins is currently. Oftentimes, you will also find that even though they may look like they're pressed, they're not always going to get a clean release. And sometimes they kind of get caught up on that hitch route as well, which in turn will allow you to get over the top. Now, one thing also with this man blitz is these safeties cannot press. So you get a free clean cut to the inside every single time. And the user, they can't guard everything. Let's just say they put themselves into a mid-read and they do something like this. They'll usually shade over the top as well to help from getting beat over top. but I know that I can pick up this 6-man rush. You may not have a lot of time, but I can almost always pick it up. You can see right there, we're going to step up in the pocket. We're going to hit this little fade stop, click on, and bam, easy dot. We can also hit the drag, and we can hit the post route late. So now let's go ahead and get into the Big Dime 146. One of the best pass defenses. It's no longer a good run defense. Surprise, surprise, EA went ahead and pretty much broke 146 for inside zone defense. So DB Sting to Buzz. Everybody's faced this at one point. Let's go ahead and get into the spread Y slot, Y stick. Everybody knows how to set it up by now. Blitz all linebackers, move these slot corners in, QB contain, and sometimes I'll bring a user down. Here's the problem. You're in a 2x2 set. You cannot bring this safety down and hover right here. Otherwise, if you were to hover and do something like, let's say you man yourself up to the running back, and perhaps they have Tyreek Hill right here, you can go ahead and streak him for a one-play touchdown because they will not be able to get back fast enough. The only exception to this is Mutt. But when they're sending 8, they're having to bump with their user to be able to get 2, maybe 3 to come in free, therefore allowing you to get over the top. So that's going to put them at a big disadvantage. If you see them doing that, put your fastest wide receiver in where Julio Jones is, like Tyreek Hill, and just streak, lob pass it, touchdown every single time. So they can't do that, so you don't have to worry about that. But remember, you still cannot block this 7-man blitz. It's simple math in this situation. 7 on 6, there's one guy coming in free every single time. I'm going to just do some quick adjustments and maybe give a look that your opponents may do. They might press even and do something like this. They'll bring these safeties down and then maybe just use this middle linebacker. Again, if they're not bumping, you're going to pick it up. If they are bumping, you're not going to pick it up because the game recognizes it at sin 7 versus sin 6. So maybe they do something like this. They're going to be using the middle of the field and just sending 6 at you. The biggest thing right here, step up into the pocket, make the correct read. I know I can hit this post route, this fade stop. If I'm seeing that I'm picking up the blitz in game, I can hit that. Depending on how the soft squat plays it, soft squats actually play it fairly well. And I also know that I can hit this drag. Now we're going to go ahead and block my running back. We're going to look for either the hitch, drag, or post route if I expect them playing man defense, which oftentimes people will like to man their safeties up to either a slot receiver or your tight end, one of the two. So let's go ahead, motion this guy over. I'm kind of anticipating this isn't going to work. We're going to test this a little bit. Snap the ball. I know I can hit this drag, bam, dot, little check down for underneath. You see that the mid-read's playing over the top of them more aggressively for the post route. If you notice that their user's playing underneath with whatever zone they may put themselves in, or if they're blitzing, whatever the case may be, you're going to hit the post over the top. The way that the linebackers, even if you sub a safety in, play without lurker, they're not jumping it. They may get lucky every once in a while, but for the most part, you're pretty safe, unfortunately, to throw at a user. So a little bit about DB Sting to Buzz. If you notice that they're just sending 7 at you, I really suggest not motioning this guy in and just setting it up like this, just having B on a drag. So then you don't get all clustered, like say they were to man up this safety to the tight end, bring him down. This is definitely not an adjustment I would do personally, but some people are wild enough to do so. But if they're to do something like this, maybe man up both safeties to the slot receiver and tight end, and then just user rush, you're going to be able to hit that tight end every single time, no questions asked. So let's snap this ball. You may get a little clustered, but bam, it's right there. Low point pass, dot. You can also hit the drag as well. So super difficult to guard a spread set out of this formation. We're going to go into pinch bucko 3-4 bear. Another one that's going to be very hard to guard out of this spread 2x2 set. Spread Y slot, stick. So again, it's the same thing as the 3-4 odd, sin 7. Bear is just a little bit better because it's a little bit more difficult to block and it's impossible to block in a spread set. But that's not the worry here. So we're going to go ahead and block a running back just to at least pick up the first guy that may come in free. Put B on a drag. We'll go ahead and press. Look for the post route. Look for this fade stop. If you notice that they're not sending 6 and maybe they're sitting in a cover 3, a lot of people like to kind of bluff this, maybe baseline press, bluff with a cover 3 or a cover 2 invert. If they do that, then you're going to go ahead and hit the fade stop, post route, or drag or hitch, kind of depending on what they're doing. So let's snap this ball. So right there, bam. hit the little drag underneath. One of the guys gets off the block, but you can see right there, quick, easy gain of about 4 yards-ish. Now, in this particular defense, if you know they are playing man coverage, I, again, don't suggest putting D-hop on that little drag route, because as you noticed, if we're going to insert replay real fast, it kind of gets a little clustered up and it makes the read a little bit, it takes a little bit longer for it to develop. So this is man defense. Richard Sherman is manned up to D-hop. You notice he presses Travis Kelce. That's what allows D-hop to get a free release. But because we don't have time to throw the hitch, we can't throw it to Travis Kelce. And if we did have time to throw the hitch, or if he didn't get pressed, we can hit this hitch as well. So as last time with the 3-4 odd, what I would do instead is put B on a fade stop instead and do something like that. This is how you're going to attack any kind of man defense. In this situation, we'll go on blitz 7. We'll be able to hit the tight end. As always, we can even hit this post route. You can see right there, off the races we go. 1 play touchdown. So really difficult to guard a 2x2 set, even if they send 7 at you. The last one, I should probably talk about this earlier, is the glitch running back. You guys know what I'm talking about, where you can dumb out your running back essentially. We're going to go ahead and attack that and spread Y slot, Y stick. So let's go into this DB Sting 2 Buzz. And what people do is they'll go into DB Sting 2 Buzz and audible to cover 2 sync. So it's still giving you that same exact look. So we've now audible to DB or to cover 2 sync. We've QB contained, man up the running back, just shimmy him a little bit. And this is how they're going to go ahead and glitch out. Normally, what's going to happen is he's going to stand right about there, and it's going to dumb out your running back. Best way to kind of counter it, block your running back, double team this defensive end or really that linebacker, and then ID this guy as the mic, and then set up from here. This little fade stop is not going to be open against a soft squat. On the other hand, this drag will get open. So you're essentially creating a high-low read, and if they make a mistake or choose too late, you're often going to find they're going to be able to hit the post route over the top. So snap this ball. We'll kind of work away in the pocket. You can see we get the chop block right there. Bam. Throw the drag, and off to the races we go. Now, I'm going to do that one more time. We'll audible into cover 2 sync. You can motion over that running back, and then it just limits you to where you can motion over the receiver. If you do that, just be aware. That's the best thing I want to say. Just be aware that it does limit you to who you can motion over. So we'll set it up again. Work your pocket. Don't be a little sissy and just run away. Work the pocket. Let the running back recognize where the blitz is coming from. Give you that chop block so you can deliver a strike to the defense. So work the pocket, work the pocket, work the pocket. Deliver the strike. Bam. Dot. So it's pretty easy to pick up. That's the best way they're going to pick up that glitch blitz every single time. And that's going to take care of this video. I know it's a longer video, but I wanted to get this out there, show you guys how you can attack blitzes with it, how you can attack just stock coverages behind it as well. And that's going to take care of this video. One thing I want to mention right now, as you probably have noticed in the video a couple times, is right below me is my own website, my own ebooks, etc. Guides for teaching beginners, ebooks for more advanced players, etc. So be sure you check that out. There's some insane value on there that is not available on this channel. So until next time, guys, get into the lab. This has been T Meister. See ya.